Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
All right, so, I have 3 words. Just say yes. When someone asks you to do something, do you always say yes? What about if it's God being the one asking? Now, as we approach January, we near the 5th anniversary of the beginning of my personal journey of where I started saying yes to God. The last 5 years have been truly incredible, freeing, and just amazing. That's not to say that my life hasn't been free of challenges and problems. The difference has been that I'm no longer facing the world alone, but with God. But even when you know God has your back, saying yes isn't easy, as you never know how things will turn out. Saying yes can be scary and require you to do things like stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, I've had a recent experience of this, and I'm going to share with you. As many of you know, I've been visiting the inmates at the jail. But what you might not know is that I almost didn't do it. A few months ago, during Sabbath school, Pastor Lopez had asked for volunteers to help with his jail ministry. He had said that he had been going to the local jail, visiting with the inmates and doing Bible studies with them. He was looking for committed volunteers to help visit with the inmates regularly. And at the time, I was living 53 minutes away, way in the desert. So those weekly visits were not going to be easy. They would be very inconvenient, and they require a lot of time, effort, and expense on my part. The next issue I had was that I didn't feel qualified. I didn't feel like I could teach Bible studies, especially inmates. The third thing was that I had never been in jail before, and I found the idea rather intimidating. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know what I was going to say. I was totally not ready. At least I thought. I felt completely unprepared and unqualified for such a task. I seriously questioned my ability to actually do it, but as I looked around, I saw that no one else was really volunteering. So, despite my reservations and concerns, and not knowing if this was even going to be possible for me, I reluctantly raised my hand to volunteer. A moment later, I noticed Sandy had hers raised too. I was both surprised and relieved to learn that I wasn't embarking on this new adventure alone. Now, we didn't start visiting the jail right away. In fact, it took a couple weeks, a few weeks to get the arrangements made so that we could even go. Then that day came in September. I was getting ready for church that Sabbath morning when I got a message from Sandy asking if I would be able to visit with inmates at the jail after church. It caught me off guard, as I wasn't expecting to on such short notice. I didn't know what I was going to do with Samantha, or what would be involved. And so I didn't know for sure how this would even work. But I said that, maybe, and we'll see what happens. I could have said no right then, and I seriously thought about it, but I decided to give it a chance. I was willing, so God made a way. And after church was over, I had asked EJ if he would be willing to watch Samantha while I go to the jail. And he said yes. So Samantha loves EJ, and so she was very happy to be able to spend time with him. So that worked out perfectly. And so after church, I went over and dropped her off, and then I met Sandy at her house. I didn't know where the jail was, but she did, so she drove us up there. Now, we were both nervous about going, and we didn't know what to expect. We had no idea what to do, we still didn't know what to bring, and we didn't even know what we were going to say. So we were both grateful to have each other, so we wouldn't have to go alone. And after all the experiences we've had there, I couldn't think of a better, more awesome person to go with. Now, when we got to the jail, Pastor Lopez told us the rules, and he gave us some general instruction in what to do. We were still very nervous. Met the guard and signed in. And he told us that there were 6 female inmates there. But he said they'd been bad girls, whatever that's supposed to mean. He seemed a bit hesitant to even have us meet them. He told us their cell was dark because of the lighting not working. And he said, because we're still willing to meet them, he would go and check and see if they'd be willing to meet with us. And I was honestly more nervous about the lighting issue and this whole thing of going into the cells with them, because we really were broken up. I could have backed out then, but I didn't. Now the guard came back after a minute or so, and he said that 3 inmates were willing to meet with us. So he escorted us to their cell. The cells were nothing like we had expected. The solid, there was a solid door with a small window in it and a little metal flap. And it had a little latch and a lock on it. Then the guard opened the door and we walked in. He locked the door behind us. And he said that when we were ready to go, we just let him know and he let us out. Still, a little intimidating. We looked around the cell and it felt like we walked into a dungeon. The walls were solid. There were no bars. There was no windows to the outside world. The lighting, definitely wasn't working, and so it was dark. And the shower wasn't working properly. It was just running constantly. For some reason, it had been broken. Those things had possibly been broken for months, and it could have been broken by the inmates in some angry outburst or something. So understandably, they don't really have a rush in fixing such things. Now, the 3 women in the cell quickly cleared away a small table with bench seats that are attached to the wall so it's down. And they sat on the floor on some rolled out bed mats. And then they looked up at us. As we sat at the little table, we introduced ourselves. The sound of the shower was very distracting and loud. And the darkness of the cell was uncomfortable and depressing. But despite the discomfort, we visited them with them for nearly an hour. We told them a bit about ourselves and why we were there. And we learned a little bit about them. And it wasn't long before it was time to go. They naturally had expressed great displeasure at the conditions that they were forced to live in. But where I saw problems, where they saw problems, I saw opportunities. I saw them as an opportunity for God to demonstrate to these inmates that He cares. We asked them if they'd be willing to, pray with us, and they said yes. So we stood in a circle and we prayed for them. We prayed for the families and the staff of the jail, and especially for the shower and the lighting to be fixed. When we left, we were rather emotional as we felt very bad for them and what they were going through. But I also believe that God wouldn't waste this perfect opportunity to demonstrate His power, love, and grace to them personally and helping them with their situation. 2 weeks went by, and we didn't go back. It was during that time, though, that a strange sequence of events resulted in me moving from a day to 2 days. Davis unexpectedly with the help of many, friends from our church family. So the distance issue I had with going to the gym was now no longer a problem. Sandy and I got together again, and we went back to the jail the following Sabbath. I was very curious if God had answered our prayers, and we were gladly surprised when He had. The lighting and the shower had both been fixed, and we were able to still meet with 2 of the inmates that had been there before. We also met a new inmate who had been sharing a cell. Now, each time we've gone to the jail, it's been a blessing for both us and the inmates we visit. In one of our recent visits, we had met with not 3, but 6 inmates who were excited and happy to see us. God had been at work in their lives. They were eager and hungry to learn, to pray, and to see God help them and their families. They asked for Bibles and Bible studies. They had prayer requests. They were filled with anticipation and hope of seeing God answer their prayers. The issues that had made me hesitant to be a part of this ministry were resolved. Not by my own doing, but by God. God provided a way to live closer. God provided experiences, things for me to be able to share with them. And He gave me inspiration for what to pray for. God influenced the hearts and minds of the men to be open to his teaching and leading. God provided the answers to prayer, which without it, I don't think they would have listened. All I did was say yes. Yes, despite it seeming impossible or extremely difficult, and God worked out all the details. So what I've learned is that God needs us to say yes, and he will provide the rest. If you lack courage, or faith, or time, or energy, whatever it is, God can provide it all. All you have to do is say yes and trust him. Getting into the jail ministry was not something that I ever thought I'd do. It required taking a big step outside my comfort zone. But that's what God needs us to do. He needs us to step outside our comfort zones to help him reach his lost sheep that he wants to bring home. Now, my favorite chapter in the Bible is the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5. And in it, Jesus says something very important on this point. And so if you want to read the along with me, you can turn to Matthew 5 and 1. And it's verses 46 to 48, the scripture reading that we just had. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. And Jesus always meets people where they are. He will even leave the flock to rescue the lost sheep. In Matthew 25, verses 34 to 43, it talks about the Son of Man judging the nations. And Jesus said, Then the king will say to those on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick, or in prison, and come to you? And the king will answer and say to them, Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Now, the best time for God to reach people is when they're in need. It's in those times that not only should people be given assistance for their physical needs, but their emotional and spiritual needs as well. And all of it needs to be done in love and gentleness. When we love and support others, we do the work that Jesus wants us to do. In Romans 13, verses 8 to 10, it says, Owe no one anything except to love one another. For he who loves another has fulfilled the law. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet. And if there is any other commandment, all are summed up in this saying, namely, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of the law. So, how can we love complete strangers? How can we care for others as Christ did? I found that when I look at those inmates, I don't see criminals. I see women who have lost their way. I see mothers who are burdened and struggling with many wrongs. Women who don't know God, they don't know their own value. They don't know that they can be completely forgiven and have a new life in Christ. A few years ago, I had come across a song that changed the way I thought about the people around me. It's actually called Give Me Your Eyes, and it's sung by Brandon Heath. I'm just going to read some of the lyrics. And in the beginning, he's on an airplane. Look down from a broken sky, traced out by the city lights, my world from a mile high, best seat in the house tonight. Touch down on the cold black top, hold on for the sudden stop, breathe in the familiar shock of confusion and chaos. All those people going somewhere. Why have I never cared? Now I'm going to stop for a minute and say this next part has been like a prayer. And every time I've heard this song, it's just kind of something I say to God. And it says, give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. And this is a song that I've had for years, since, the past almost 5 years now. And it continues. It says, step out on a busy street. See a girl and our eyes meet. Does her best to smile at me, to hide what's underneath. There's a man just to her right, black suit and a bright red tie, too ashamed to tell his wife he's out of work and buying time. All those people going somewhere, why have I never cared? And then it repeats, it says, give me your eyes for just 1 second, give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. And it says, I've been there 1,000,000 times, a couple of million times, just move and pass me by. I swear I never thought that I was wrong. Well, I want a second glance, so give me a second chance to see the way you've seen the people all along. To me, it's just beautiful lyrics that have really opened my eyes to seeing people in the light. Just even driving by and passing them by on the road or going about the day. It's so easy to walk by and miss all the people that we can reach out to give hope to help lift up when they've fallen down, to support, to lead, to guide. If only we are willing to just say yes. All God wants for us is to say yes, and He will provide the rest. Whatever we lack, He's got our back. I don't need to rhyme. From David, who said yes to God as he bravely stood before Goliath. As Moses, who said yes as he faced Pharaoh to demand the release of his people. And Ruth saying yes to God to follow Naomi, despite being judged and condemned for her past. And Daniel saying yes to God, facing hungry lions in the lion's den. And there's so many others in the Bible that have said yes to God, and we read their stories. And there's so many others that are out there in the world that we haven't been able to read because their stories aren't written. But God has stood by them, and it's the same God that will stand by us. It's the same God, the same power, the same love, the same promises. And so, sure, we don't know what will happen, as life can be unpredictable and scary. The unknown is always scary. But when we have God that knows and loves us, as our God does, then we have nothing to fear. We can boldly charge into the world's battlefield, knowing that we have the care and protection and power of God behind us to protect us, to guide us, to provide for us, unlike any other of our neighbors. So I would like to challenge you the next time an opportunity comes knocking, where you would normally say no because you think, I don't have time, I don't have the energy, I can't do this. Say yes and see what happens. God might just surprise you. Now there's one other song that I do want to share with you, the lyrics to it. And it's called God, My Rock. And this is something that has also stuck with me. It says, when my heart is overwhelmed, I will look to you alone. God, my rock, God, my rock, God, my rock. You will stand when others fall. You are faithful through it all. God, my rock, God my rock, God my rock. In the blessing, in the pain, through it all, you've never failed me. You are the strength of my heart. You are the strength of my heart. I can rely on you. I can rely on you. You are the joy of my life. You are my song in the night. There is no one as true. Jesus, I trust in you. When I struggle to believe, you have not let go of me. God my rock, God my rock, God my rock. Carried through the darkest storms, you've held me in your arms. God my rock, God my rock, God my rock. The part of that song that catches my eye is when I struggle to believe. You have not let go of me. And from everything I've seen, that's completely true. Because even when I've had this opportunity, I didn't totally know if God would make this possible to even do. And He surprised me, and He continues to every time. Each time we go back to the jail and we see another answered prayer, we see just eyes, the excitement, the happiness of seeing us there. There's nothing like it. So God is our rock, and He gives us eyes to see. And all we need to do is just say yes. I think this is probably kind of short for me, but I'm trying not to be so long. So let's go ahead and have our closing song. Number 406. Love consecrates the humblest man.